I get a little blame for that too. I do want to say, well, and second of all, I think this is the first time me and the First Lady have been to an event since we left Jeff City together. So glad she's with us today and traveling with me. I do want to say something about the county commissioners that were recognized a little earlier. When a lot of the relief money come down years ago, I really reached out and I wanted counties to understand how important it was to utilize that money for something that would be a test of time, that would have longevity to it. And I know there's lots of needs that counties always have. But I want to give those guys credit because they represent everybody that's here today from this area, that they did think a little bit of ahead. They did think, what can we really do that's going to make an impact in this community, not for a little while, but forever. And I want to thank you commissioners and everybody that was behind this on the local levels, the politicians, everybody, for really having the sight for the future and to really help somebody that we really all are going to feel good about. Helping individuals just need a little help. So I thank you guys for it. And David sitting beside me here, you all know, and needless to say, he sure had his share of challenges too, to be able to go through life as it is right now. But I'm very grateful for him, for his service to Jefferson City, service to represent you, but also for what he did to make sure this project got through. And if it wasn't for him and Carla, I will be honest with you, I'm not sure we'd all be standing here today and you'd be thinking about, boy, that governor's really a good governor when he was governor. You may be thinking, what was he thinking? But I'm telling you, those two come to my office on different occasions and said this is very important to West Plains, to this community, and to the service area. And without a doubt, we all made the right decision by making sure this day would be possible to do that. I told a few of them around back, me and Teresa's not exempt from this. We have a great niece. She did correct me. I called her niece a while ago. She said that's a great niece. So that is autistic. So we have a little insight into what that world is like. But for all of you that are here today, I think the one thing it shows is just how important this is, because I'm going to tell you, I go to a lot of ribbon cuttings and open houses to different things within the state. And I'm going to tell you, this crowd today is significant to what we're doing here today, because what it does tell you, all the different people involved, how important this was for the community, and for all of you to come out here today to be part of the ceremony, says a lot for the people of West Plains and Howard County for you to be here and the impact you're going to have. As governor, I will tell you one feeling we will have to share the same. You're going to help people that you're never going to see, you're never going to meet, and you're never going to realize you've done it by your efforts to be here to do what you've done today. That's how important it is to do the right thing sometimes for other people. And I think that's one of the things I look back on from my career and think of all the people that I probably won't meet, I won't see, but I know in a roundabout way, we try to make things just a little better for everybody. So it's great to be here. The state is happy and grateful we invested the money right here in this facility and what it means. So partnerships is what it's about, and this couldn't be a more better partnership event than we are here today. Thank you for having me and Teresa back. We appreciate it, and as always, it was an honor and privilege to be the 57th governor of the great state of Missouri. God bless. Thank you all very much.
We're also honored to welcome David Evans, our former Missouri State Representative, a lifelong resident of West Plains, and a dedicated public servant. Before joining the legislature, David, that's informal here, sorry. David and I went to a science fair one time in Rolla. You don't remember this?
I do remember.
We shared the same hotel room. He scared me to death. David served at Howell County Circuit Court Judge and practiced law in our community. His tireless advocacy for families, education, and rural justice continues to leave a deep impact in the Ozarks and beyond. So, Judge.
And my old friend Dennis really wanted me to remind you one last time about those $100 t-shirts. I can tell you with all honesty, all proceeds go to the Dennis Lancaster Retirement Fund. And Governor Parson and I did truthfully talk earlier, and this is both of our first time we had to wear a suit over the last 2 months since we both retired. I'm going to keep this short. Just mention 3 things. Very briefly, talk a little bit more about what the state had to do on this. 2, thank particularly everybody, but one very special person that we wouldn't be here without her, sitting on my left. And 2, encourage the students here. This is what this is for. We did this for you and many colleagues of yours in the future. What you do with your lives can change the world. It really can if you grab hold of your education, of your talents, your skills, and the heart to do the right thing. Being a state rep can be very challenging, very annoying at times. I remember a night a couple years ago when Carl and I had talked to Dennis and Carol and about several possible projects, and we kind of all agreed to this being a phenomenal project that year to try to work on for our town, our community, most importantly for the kids and their families. And we did. We filed what's called a bill. We had filed budget bills for $7.5 million and worked on it most of the session. And there came a point where Carl and I talked and we were on the verge of giving up. There's roadblocks always. There's good ideas here. There'll be good ideas in every community across the state for the very limited budget dollars. We, of course, thought this was the best, and I still think that. And it's near and dear to my heart that we got this done for many, many reasons. But I went to a dinner one night to hear the governor speak, and was sitting there, and all of a sudden, a magnificent lady sat down in the chair next to me, and just happened to ask, "What have you been doing?" And so I took the chance. Sometimes lightning strikes, things happen. I believe in fate, and when you're given an opportunity, you do what you can. And I just explained, hey, we've got this great project. Dennis is a great guy. He had a great idea for West Plains and for the school and for the state. But we're at a dead end. We don't think we can do it this year. Maybe next year, maybe later. But we really don't think we can get it done. And she looked at me and talked about her family and her heart and her commitment and said, don't give up. That is a wonderful idea. Keep charging on, do your best, and see what happens. And so I called my good friend Carla later and said, hey, we can't give up. I talked to the governor's wife herself. I just happened to be sitting next to her at dinner. And she said, give it your best shot. And that's what we did. And at that time I didn't know of the close connection with her family and autism. And it worked out. And again, is to me the highlight perhaps of my career up there is to help the community, but to help kids build a better life and future for themselves. And there's no doubt in my mind that the vision of the Swifts, Carol, everybody in the community that had a hand in this, of getting it going, it's going to be truly remarkable. And I think we are blessed to have the support from the state, but most importantly, blessed to have the support from all the community and the families here. Little things in life can sometimes, as I mentioned, make a big difference. Kind hearts, listening ears, compassionate souls can change lives, can change the world. And guys and gals, you got to remember that. Take advantage of this school, of this community, of the state, and its resources. But also decide in your heart what you want to do, what's right for you, and then go for it. I will never forget her words. Don't give up, don't back down. Do what you think is right and help other people. So thank you, Governor and First Lady. Again, without your help and your commitment to the state, we wouldn't be here.
Thank you, Dave. Now please welcome Tracy Hollis Cooper, whose generous and forward-thinking philanthropy provided this financial spark that launched the Ascend program and the vision for the Neurodiversity and Autism Center. Her vision continues to ripple through the lives of every student we serve. And Tracy, if you would introduce your family when you come up, they've also been part of the Ascend initiative. Tracy.
Hello. First of all, I'd like to introduce my son and daughter, Nate Swift and Keely Swift Gale. Would you stand up? You don't want to? And my husband, Bob Cooper's back there. Wave. And he said introduce my family. I got my brothers and my cousins and my second cousin and my niece. I'm joking. But also, one of my most important family members is TJ Swift House. Would you guys wave your hands? Yeah. So, Dennis had asked me if I'd just take a few minutes and share my thoughts on this building. And my thoughts on this building is it's amazing. It's amazing that we can have a building on this level to honor and to respect people that have deserved this for a long time, and West Plains stepped out and decided to do it. MSU-West Plains campus decided to do it, so that makes me so proud. TJ Swift House is an agency that takes care of people with disabilities, and as of this year, we have been a business for 35 years. And we live by a code. I was a baby when I started. For 35 years, we've practiced the code of do right, love to care for people, and be teachable. And I would say to MSU West Plains campus, you did it up right. By all means, you did it right. I'm so thankful for that. In their planning, they put people first. I listened and observed at the detail that they took in researching and finding what worked for people best and how to support them best. And then they did their very best to accommodate that in the building. That's pretty cool. So 35 years ago, when I started, Governor Ashcroft was shutting down the large institutions, and he was putting people back out in the community, which was a great step. But just not even 15 years ago, I watched a young man named Greg who had all the ability and potential to go from high school to a higher education, and because he didn't have the adaptability and the copeability, he stayed home and played games and watched movies, but studied his history books and loved his history books. And he would have been the best history student ever. But there was no place for him to go because he didn't have the support. But now, my daughter-in-law, Erin, told me of a story of this young girl that she knows whose brother has autism. And when she drives by this building, she says, my brother is going to get to go there. So, what could be better than that? That hope and that vision, and to be able to fulfill the purpose and the destiny that we're all given to fulfill. So, I'm really here to say thank you for Dennis and Carol, who invited me to coffee and pie. The pie's what got me. And they shared their vision, and then I got to meet with Representative Evans and Senator Esslinger, and they just stayed on it and advocated and pushed it through. But the garden group, wave your hands together. I know Carol's going to recognize you, that made it pretty so that it's not just a wonderfully unique, and you'll see all that they've done, but just pretty. And then I want to thank anybody that's ever contributed or honored a person with diversity needs. that this world needs more compassion, more come alongside, more cheerleading. So anyway, thank you, West Plains MSU campus.
Thank you, Tracy. We're also privileged to hear from Carol Sylvie, my cohort in crime. Beware, if you have coffee, if she asks you for coffee and pie, beware. Carol's a former MSU Board of Governors member and a former faculty and staff member here at MSU-West Plains, and she led the creation of the Sensory Garden Giving Circle, which funded one of the most distinctive and peaceful elements of our center. And as Tracy said, you'll get to see that here on the tour. So Carol, would you come and share just a bit?
Governor Parsons and Mrs. Parsons, it's such an honor that you could come today, and to all of the folks on the platform and out there. It is all about friendships and people that want to make a difference. And that's what this entire building is built on. Dennis and I, as he said, have been partners in crime on a number of occasions. And at one point he said, you know, we're going to have to lop off the sensory garden. We just do not have enough money, despite what the county and the state had done and what Tracy had done. And I said, wait just a minute. I think, Dennis, I can find some people who want to make a difference. So I called my friend Florence James, and I said, Florence, let me run an idea by. The university is building this phenomenal building for individuals with neurodiversity issues. Do you think I could get some people who give $1,000 for 5 years? She said, count me in. I said, okay, make a list of some of your best friends. And at that point, we began to connect with our best friends. In addition, there had been a number of years ago when I did officially work for the university, a group of philanthropic women, and probably in the 90s. So I approached the people that I had known who'd been in that group, and Pat Hilton is the only one who is with us today, and said, Pat, you know that philanthropic women group, let's reorganize it. And so this sensory garden that you will see, which is truly awesome, is the result of 25 plus individuals who have pledged their money and their support. And they have occasionally toured this facility, but they have not seen the garden yet. So along with all of you, they will see what a difference a little commitment and a little support can make. I think we have about half of the group. Would you all stand up if you're a member of the Sensory Garden group? They look just like you, and you too can make a difference. Help someone today.
Thank you, Carol. Finally, I'd like to introduce Michaela King. She's the director of the Ascend program, and I can't tell you how dependent we have been on Michaela and her expertise and wisdom, and I just want to thank her. She knows. Anyway, Michaela's going to come and lead a brief conversation with two of our amazing Ascend students, Darby and Eldon, as they share their stories and insights. So Michaela and Darby and Eldon.
Well, thank you. It is an honor to be a part of this Ascend program. And when we were initially talking about who would be speaking, I said, well, let's have our students. We would much rather hear from them than from me. And so we're just going to have them share just a little bit about their story. And I'm just going to ask them a couple of questions and let you really get a chance to hear from them, because the reality is this is what the program is all about, and this is what this building is all about. So tell me about your concerns for college, or or were there concerns in coming to college? I'll just let you each go and we'll sit aside.
I think my main concerns with coming back to college was the social aspect, interacting with teachers and fellow students. Also the unknown of classes and how they were structured, because every professor has a different teaching style, and I didn't know how classes would really look for me. So with the program, I was actually able to meet the professors beforehand, and that was a huge help. Really helped me alleviate some of those fears.
Definitely a lot of the same stuff, making sure like what classes I know, professors I need to get to know, making the adjustment from living away from home for the first time in 18, 19 years. Definitely having these people here to help is a big step up from what could have not been if it had not been for you.
So tell the people out here what Ascend does for you and how the supports help you while you're at the university.
The support has just been mind-blowing for me, honestly. They really help you keep up with homework, make sure you're up to date on all your work and your classes, and they've helped me in so many other ways too, just general support. Tanya or Michaela are always just a text away if I need them. They've really helped me succeed.
Gotta go with the copy again. Pretty much all of the same stuff, you know, just helping you, checking in on you, making sure you're doing all your stuff correctly, and just checking in, making sure you're doing okay all the time. Like, it's always a simple, how are you doing? Or what's up? Or have you gotten this done? Just everything has been great and help for it.
So tell individuals why would you encourage them to be part of the Ascend program? If they were considering that, what would you tell them?
Ascend is just an awesome program that genuinely wants you to succeed. There's no masking, there's no expectations for you to act a certain way. You get to just be yourself, and they're there for you. Whatever you need, they provide it as best as they can.
I would say just go for it. There's no harm in doing it. You know, taking the extra help, might as well. Pretty much, yeah. It's all great. These people, what they do, they're amazing. You know, couldn't ask for a better group of people to lead it at all. And having their help on an almost daily basis is tremendous.
Well, I'll brag just a second for both of these students real quick. Darby this semester is now in the honors program at the university, and Eldon is on our esports team and considering potentially doing our China abroad as well. So all of our students have a story, and we feel so honored and humbled to be a part not only of this program, but with this new building, and the bigger that we can grow, we are just ecstatic about that. So thank you all for being here.
Thanks, Darby and Eldon. Darby is in my honors class, and so very proud of her. And we learn a lot from Darby as well. So my other students, we will talk occasionally about what's it like to be autistic and in particular situations, so they get to learn about that. So that kind of interaction across campus is important as well as autism. You will meet autistic individuals everywhere, and as you go across the life. At this moment, we're going to, if I got the right here, we're going to have a traditional cutting of the ribbon. So where are my Chamber of Commerce friends? There we go. Come on, guys. Come on up. And one reason I asked the Chamber of Commerce to do a ribbon cutting is because of the importance of this program to workforce development. We talk about economic development. We hear from our employers often not having enough people in the workforce. And not to reveal a whole lot, but we do have a company looking at West Plains, and one of the reasons they're looking at West Plains is because of this center and this program. And that is exciting to know to me. And so we are very, we'll see what happens with that. So I appreciate Mayor Topliff and Sam back here and all their work in making that, connecting with us. We appreciate that very much. So, my stage party friends, come on up. The Hollis family, the Swift family, come on up. And we'd like for our autistic, our SID program teams to all come up as well.
One way or the other.
We're gonna put you up here.
Everything but throwing elbows.
And if there's anybody else left, you might as well come up. Anybody else?
You two get in the middle here. You both have. So we're gonna lower it? No, we're well as well.
There's some room over here too if anybody wants to come over by this.
They're gonna cut this.
All right.
Nice
to finally meet you, Governor.
Very nice to meet you today.
Morgan, this is the former governor.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you today. Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Senator?
Doing good, you?
Pretty good.
Hey, I don't have any more security with me. Can you guys help me if I need security?
My friends are coming. Right by the bell tower.
We have a few more coming.
Oh, so let's get this down then. So they're heavy. Yeah. Oh, they are. Yes. Yes.
That's all right. It's them we're worried about. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a tall gentleman. Right on up there. I think he's right past there. Shirley. Yeah. Right there. Did we get everybody? Everybody good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Hold on to her nice and tight. I'm going to get out of the way.
We're gonna hold it in there, and you're gonna look this way and look.
Just make it so that the camera cuts the profile of the scissors. I'm going to let go.
Yeah, we got it.
Are you going to tell them when to do it?
Yeah, everyone's smiling.
Everyone's closed in comfortable positions.
Say it. They won't listen. Okay, go ahead. You ready?
2, 1.
I can still feel that ribbon on me.